All right, let's dive into a question that's getting more and more urgent every single day. When the AI we're all starting to rely on gets something wrong, who's on the hook? Who takes the blame?
I mean, just think about it for a second. An AI-powered car makes a bad turn and causes an accident. A medical chatbot gives out genuinely harmful advice. This stuff isn't sci-fi anymore, it's happening. So who's responsible? As you're about to see, the answer is anything but simple.
To really get to the bottom of this, we first have to accept a fundamental truth about this technology.
And that truth is this. It is not a question of if an AI will make a mistake, but when. And look, that's not about fear-mongering, it's just the reality of where we are. As these systems get more complex and tangled up in our daily lives, mistakes are basically a guarantee. And that's what makes this question of responsibility one of the most critical challenges we face today.
A huge part of the problem is something experts call the black box problem. It's kind of like this. Data goes in one end, a decision pops out the other. But the process in the middle, it can be so complex and autonomous that it's nearly impossible to follow. So how in the world do you pinpoint the source of an error if you can't even see the steps the AI took to get there?
So this whole black box thing kind of forces our hand. If we can't always trace the error inside the machine, the spotlight naturally swings over to the human chain of people behind it.
Let's be real. An AI doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't have intentions. It's a tool, a really powerful one, but still a tool. And just like any other tool, the ultimate accountability has to rest with the humans who designed it, trained it, and made the call to unleash it.
Which means responsibility isn't just one single point. It's a chain. Let's say you have an AI used for hiring. A failure could have started way back at the beginning, with biased data being fed into the system. Or it could be a flaw in the rules a developer wrote, something that unintentionally favors one group over another. Or maybe the testing just wasn't good enough to catch the problem. Or heck, maybe after it was deployed, people noticed weird results, but that feedback was just ignored. A breakdown can happen at any link in this chain.
And the stakes here are just incredibly high. We're not talking about a simple computer glitch. AI mistakes can completely shatter public trust, cause massive financial damage, and this is the really scary part, they can bake in and even amplify existing societal biases, in things like job applications or getting a loan. That causes real-world harm.
Okay, so we know the risks are real, but how do we actually behave around AI? Well, our relationship with algorithms is full of some really fascinating and honestly kind of contradictory psychology. Let me tell you about this fascinating study. Researchers asked people to estimate how many other people were in a photograph. And to help them, they got a piece of advice from one of two places. Either the wisdom of the crowd, so an average of a bunch of other people's guesses, or from an algorithm.
And here's where it gets really, really interesting. When the task was easy, people were kind of swayed by both sources about the same. But when the task got hard, look at that jump. Our reliance on the algorithm's advice just skyrocketed. It seems like the second we feel like we're out of our depth, we instinctively trust the machine more. But here is the wild paradox. Even though we lean so heavily on AI for the tough calls, that same study found we judge its mistakes way more harshly. We actually penalize an algorithm more for giving bad advice than we penalize a whole crowd of our fellow humans for making the exact same mistake.
This quote really puts all that anxiety into perspective, doesn't it? It makes you ask the question, are we holding AI to this impossible standard of perfection that we never, ever applied to other game-changing technologies? I mean, did we argue this much about fire or the internet? It's a really fair point.
So, beyond the legal liability and our weird trust issues, there's another layer to this, a more personal one that we have to talk about: the hidden human costs of interacting with AI. A major 4-week study from MIT looked into this, involving almost 1,000 people, to see how talking with AI chatbots actually affects us psychologically. And the results were pretty complex, a little counterintuitive even. It turns out that high daily usage was actually linked with people feeling more lonely and dependent on the tech. And get this, even having personal, heart-to-heart type conversations with a chatbot was linked to a slight increase in loneliness. It suggests that while AI might feel like a quick fix for connection, it might not be fulfilling our deeper social needs, and that could come with some hidden emotional costs.
So, given all of this, the black boxes, or weird psychology, the human costs, how do we actually move forward safely? Well, we need to start building some guardrails.
The simple fact is that this technology is moving at lightning speed, and our laws and company policies are desperately trying to keep up. The crucial thing here is that we can't wait around for a disaster to force our hand. We've got to be proactive and create these accountability frameworks now.
For businesses using AI, that means taking practical, common-sense steps today. This checklist is a great guide. It covers crucial actions, like providing clear user manuals so people actually understand the AI's limits, and things like getting specific insurance to cover AI-related risks. That's not optional anymore. It's really about building a culture of responsibility right from the very beginning.
And so all of this leaves us with one final critical question. We are increasingly handing over our hardest, most complex problems to artificial intelligence, trusting it to find solutions that maybe we can't. But have we really thought through and prepared for the human consequences of that trust when, not if, but when the AI gets it wrong? It's a question we all need to think about as this technology becomes a bigger and bigger part of our world. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.